doesn't matter what you face, doesn't matter what they say. It don't matter about your issue, no, you fix it anyway. It don't matter about the pain, it don't matter about the flames. Cause he helped me, I was helpless, can I help you to stay?
Alright guys, welcome back to the Maternity Diary. Today I have a very special guest, my friend Bumi. She has a very long name, but it's cut short, and I think she's affectionately called Boom Booms in Canada here. And Bumi has been here for just around 2 years. She came from Nigeria, and she migrated with her entire family, her husband and her wonderful kids, who are like my best friends. So today we are going to have a very, very, very interesting conversation with her, and I'll allow her to introduce herself, and then when she's done, I'm going to tell you what we are going to do in today's session. So stick around, and yes, so you can introduce yourself.
Oh, good afternoon.
How do you know it's afternoon? It could be evening, morning,
afternoon,
night,
evening, night, whatever. Around the world, I'm so happy to be here. My friend called me. Actually, I don't do this for people, but she's so special to me. So I told her, anyways, let's start and let's do this. Like she said, my name is Bumi.
What's the full name?
Oh, Oluwa Bumi.
And what does that mean?
God, a gift from God. That's the gift you'll be looking for from God. So I'm a special gift from God to my parents, to my friends, to my generation.
And you know the interesting thing is my Ghanaian name is Yaira, which means blessing or a gift. Yeah,
wow.
So
I can see the connection. Maybe that's why we connected.
Exactly.
So well. So I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm here to share whatever I have and whatever I know with everybody. So stay tuned and be happy.
And we'll be expecting lots of comments, lots and lots of comments, and yeah, likes on these videos. And yeah, today, like I said, she's been here for around 2 years, and so she's still fresh, you know. There's still some freshness in her body, in her blood, even though a lot has changed in the past. Like today, we're just having a conversation, and I was like, there are certain words that Nigerians use, and I'm surprised she's no longer pronouncing words like Nigerians do. And we're going to have a fun session today, because after talking about all the serious stuff, we are going to do an accent challenge. So a Ghana versus Nigeria. You know, it's not all the time we are fighting over jollof rice. Exactly.
Football.
Exactly.
No, but today we are going to be fighting over accent.
Which, you see, she's even saying accent. She has changed. She's no more Nigerian. When she comes to Nigeria, they'll sack her. So we'll be doing that. But before we get to that fun aspect, we want to talk about something very serious, and we want to talk about the big differences in culture, like between Nigeria or even Ghana, because West Africa, and in Canada, what those differences are. And we'll talk about the general cultural differences that she noticed when she came here, maybe 2 years ago, even leading up till now. And then we would go into specifics. Okay, so let's get started. What was the biggest shock that you had when you came here?
Oh, the biggest shock that I had when I came here, you know, in Nigeria, when you go to the filling station, you just sit inside your car, you tell the people selling for you, can you please fill up my car? You just sit inside, maybe you went there with your driver, you're just sitting in your, as in, the owner's corner, and then you're just there paying and everything, your AC is running. But here in Canada, when I came, I was like, wow, I want to buy fuel. They're like, you need to go to the fuel pump to heat yourself.
Yes.
So that was one of the major things that got me when I came here. So you have to do it yourself.
DIY nation. Everything, even furniture, you buy everything, you're fixing yourself. I'm like, what?
One thing, you are the one doing the carpentry work, you are the plumber, you are the teacher, you are the doctor, you are the nurse, you are the mom, you are everything. You just have to be like, one thing all around, like one thing, like 100 things in one person. So that's Western word for you.
Yeah, that's true. That was one of also the biggest shock, because I was like, why do I have to get down and I fill my gas myself? Like, this is annoying, especially when it's winter and then you're in the cold and you're trying to fill your gas, and you remember back home all I have to do is sit in the car and then I pay someone when they are done.
Imagine even you going with your driver, then hello, just tell them they should just fill up the tank. Then you pass the money to him and then he's going to pay. But when I came here, it was something totally different.
Yeah,
it's not that bad because it's something you can actually adjust to, but it will take a while.
True. That's true. Well, that was good. I'm glad I can relate to it. Right. So we have a couple of topics that we want to talk about, and the first one is the school system differences. So we are starting with education. What was your first impression of the school system here when you came? Like when you first came and your kids started school, what were some of the major differences you saw?
One of the major things that happened when I came was like when we did the parent teachers conference, and then the first thing was like when we went to the school in Calgary to go and submit the application and everything. So my second daughter, they were like, we know she's very brilliant, she's this, she's that, but no matter what, even if she's a genius, we're still going to bring her, she's going to be in a normal class. So they had to take her from, I think, grade 3 back to grade 2.
Yeah.
So that one, but apart from that, the first parent teachers meeting we had, both teachers were like, oh, Rachel is sound in mathematics. Rebecca has a solid educational background from Nigeria. And you people too hate. Your daughter is this, your daughter is that. And to me, I was thinking, these children, they are not still doing their best.
They are not doing well.
And I can remember something happened. And my second daughter, she had 100%. So when they got back from school, I was like, she gave me a script to sign and everything. So I was like, Rebecca, you have to you have to do better.
Yeah, she did do better with the 100%. Typical African mom.
My first daughter was like, on the staircase, she was like, Mommy, what else do you want after 100%? Then the younger sister was like, ask her. I was like, you can still do your best, you can still do more. So the difference there back in West Africa will push our children to become the best. Even if we think they're still doing something that is good, but we don't really tell them that they are doing the best. But we just keep pushing them. I think and that has really helped us. And then that is why when you see people from West Africa, black people, they always, wherever they go to, they shine, they excel, they do a lot of things. Especially when they come to this Western world, within 2 years, you see them scaling different heights and everything. They can have like 2 things together at the same time, going to school, working, doing a lot of things together. And if you look at it, our children are doing a lot in the school. See this one doing for all these excellent performances and all those things. And it has really helped us compared to, I still like the Canadian way of teaching, but as an African mom,
it's not enough.
I still have to push, right? Push. But their system is not really bad because at the end of the day, they still come out very well. They do a lot of inventions and innovations. They take it one step at a time, which I'm also learning to get myself into the culture. As I'm pushing my children, I still want them to have that space of taking it one step at a time.
No, you're very correct. Like one of the things like I noticed is that my friends who have kids in Ghana, the same age as my kids, let's say 4-year-old, 5-year-old, are already doing multiplication table.
Yes, no. Table 3.
Exactly. 9 times 9, 8 times 6. They are reciting it
spelling
like crazy, right? And then your kid here, around the same age, is now doing ABCs, trying to do 3-letter word, you know, and it used to bother me a lot, like back then, because I was like, wait, my friends' kids are way advanced in Ghana. But eventually I was talking to different people, and one person was like, the thing is, our education focuses a lot on literature and like chew and pour, like, right? And then, like you said, here there's a lot of like hands-on science, you know, so the education here is more skill-based than just like remembrance, like knowledge.
You read it,
and
then
remember.
you pour it out.
Exactly.
You just cram. Our system is basically read and cram.
Exactly.
And you pour it. Then when you come from our system, they don't do. While we were growing up, we did a little bit of technical drawings and all those things, which they didn't actually encourage us.
Even your parents would not even. Your parents would be like, "You better learn your math, learn your science,
biology, your physics,
anything
your
else."
chemistry.
They are not interested.
They don't even want you to go to commercial class. I can remember my sister back then. When she was going to SS class, that's what we call it in West Africa, even in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
So my mom, she wanted to go for accounting because she doesn't like chemistry. You know, my mom, the following day, she took her to school and then said she must be in science class. And then she ended up doing sciences.
No, you are very right. Like, there's so many children, like back in West Africa, in Ghana to be specific, that maybe they wanted to do visual arts for school, and their parents insist that you are doing science or you are doing business course. Exactly. So I that was like one of the biggest shockers for me in terms of education. Like when I started having my own kids, I was like, wow, that's a big difference. But one of the things that my friends said was that you would notice that eventually when they start to do their masters, they are actually even at a higher level than we back in our country. That is why we have a lot of people coming from Ghana, Nigeria, coming to do their masters here, because it's like at some point the level switches in a certain way, right? So she was trying to explain the thing to me, and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then when your daughter my daughter is in grade 6, so I was told when they get to grade 7, everything will just switch. So then when they were in grade 4, they did one statistics like that. So you could use 4 different methods to solve one problem. And then, like I told you, I have an online lesson teacher from Nigeria. So she had to learn from them by using 4 different methods just to solve one thing. And I learned it as well. So I think their system, if you look at it on the long run, it is much better than our system that we think like we're pushing. Although our system is good, it helps you to, like, no matter how hard it is, you will strive.
It gives endurance, right?
Yes,
there's a lot of endurance in our education system. That's true. Interesting. Recently I was there and I remembered Pythagoras theorem. All the things I learned when I was in JHS and SHS. I'm like, what? How did this come? Because we've chewed it so much that it just flows.
Then I could remember this avocado's law. And then we made a song. Avocado equal volume of a gas is at the same temperature. That thing is still very much in your brain. You have to read your Babio, your all this chemistry. I've even forgotten those names. And I was struggling with further math when I was in high school. Let me put it that way. I won't say secondary school. When I was in high school, I was struggling a lot with further mathematics. I couldn't get anybody to tell this because I can't tell my parents I was struggling because you have to,
you don't have a choice. You have to make it.
Until when I got to the uni, then my late professor now taught us matrix. If you bring that thing to me now, I will still solve it. I just the way that man taught us the matrix, as if we were just eating bread and tea, we were having a coffee, a breakfast. It was really easy compared to back then. And they make things difficult for us, hard, and you still have to push. But anyway, it's also good for us. That's why we can strive anywhere.
Exactly. Awesome. That's why we are actually excelling. Because we've already learned the endurance, making sure we're learning everything that we need to learn. So, okay, all right. So let's talk about the next one. The next topic is discipline and respect. How was it raising kids in Nigeria versus here? And yeah, I have a very typical example. How, in Ghana, you are telling your child, go sweep your room or go clean up your room now. Like the way, go clean up your room now. And then here you're like, oh, would you like to go clean your room? It's like you are trying to negotiate with your children. How did you find the discipline, compared to Nigeria? Even though, even things have changed greatly from when we were younger, right? Even for our children.
Yeah.
You can look at your children right now, you're like, in my days, your parents just have to look at you with one eye and you know what your parents are telling you.
Let me start from that place with one eye. Like, I was watching one program, and then the ladies were like, one day, they were just having a chat and discussing about raising kids and everything. The woman was like, back then when we were growing up, your mom, she doesn't need to talk. She just need to turn her head and do like this and just roll her eyeballs and everything.
That's more than enough.
No, if you roll my daughter will be like,
Mommy, why are you?
Mommy, is something wrong with you? So
that's my dog because of the vibration on the floor.
I was like, what's going on? So she was like, our daughter was like, Mommy, are you okay? Is something wrong? So can you imagine? So actually everything is changing. The world is changing. Everything is just changing, revolving. So we want to talk about the training back in Nigeria compared to what I've seen so far in the past 2 years. Our training in Nigeria is totally different from the training here in the Western world. And then the thing about it is you just have to find a balance for it, because sometimes what works for A might not work for B.
Right.
So you just have to try and find a balance, not to be too harsh. Then when you need to scold them, you need to tell them and then do this. This is what is right for you.
Exactly.
I am your mother. I won't tell you to do what is wrong.
Exactly.
You can even have a chat with them in a polite manner.
Yeah.
Back then we used to like, hey, do this.
If you know how even like back home, like when I was young, a stranger can discipline your kid for you. You can have when you were young. So when we're young, let's say a taxi driver is going and then a kid is messing around on the road. The taxi driver can just get down, spank this child, march him straight to his house, right? When we're very young. But these days you cannot dare discipline someone's child.
Even in Nigeria, you can't try it again
anymore.
These days. Not even in the Western world. So everybody, the system has changed to the extent that I'm trying to mind my business. I don't want to get involved in Mrs. B. Mrs. A does not want to get involved. And I think it's the way the world is even moving to. They don't even know who you can trust again.
No, exactly. It's very similar to something that an old former colleague told me. And she mentioned that there was a time she collapsed in a train and no one touched her. Everyone was far away.
Because people are scared.
Because you try to help and then you rather get into trouble for trying to help. Yeah.
So people are even scared of... was it at work? Or where was it? Like few days ago, it wasn't even black people. It was white people that were talking. And I was in the middle of the discussion. So they were like, why growing up? My mom's friend can actually tell me what you're doing is not correct. It's not good. But these days, everybody is just mind your business. And things are getting worse every day. So I would just say that child's training, sometimes you don't need to shout too much. Sometimes you just need, some kids you need to shout. One, you need to understand your child. Does she like, how can I come in to help this particular child? So you have to understand your child, understand each of them. Some you need to scold them a little bit. Some is just little words. So do I need to have a chat with them? Like Anna was like, one of our friends, you and your mom need to have a serious conversation with them. So I was like, Wow. So sometimes you just need to have a conversation with them and then build a very safe space so that they can be free to express themselves to you. Then that way you can tell them, you can correct them. So sometimes you just need to understand these children. Sometimes we parents too, we are wrong.
Yeah. Because like growing up, like there is no way your parents will apologize to you when they are wrong. Even when they are wrong, you still need to apologize to them, right? But like, you know, in this day and age, parents are actually accepting that, you know what, I did something that was wrong and I need to apologize and I'm sorry about what I did. And
that's what I do most of the time. My daughter will be like, Mommy, what are you supposed to say? I will just say, I said I'm so sorry now. So, and I think it's you even saying sorry, accepting your mistakes. That way too, you are also teaching them to accept their mistakes.
By example, these days kids don't live by what you tell them, but they live by what you do
and what they see you doing, especially what they see their mothers doing. We mothers play a very huge part in their lives. So and I think when we accept our mistakes, it will be easier for them. That way they too, they are learning from us. You saying I am sorry,
amongst their friends, now they can easily accept, you know, I did something wrong and I need to apologize to my friend.
So training child in the Western world is totally different from the way we train children in West Africa. So we can't even do the comparison. It's like two parallel lines. So we just what I would just say is just try and find a balance. What works for you
might not work for someone else.
Just try and find a balance with whatever works for you and your children. Then you can go with that, and then with the help of God, because we can't do this by ourselves. Because some people, even the people that their parents were like, oh, they have timetable for eating, timetable for when you have
some of them say they even end up being the most spoiled kids.
So we just pray for that grace, that God should just give us that strength and then give us the wisdom to lead them aright.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I love that. TED Talk. Okay, our last but not the least topic, childhood and play. So I want to talk about like how back in our country our kids play a lot outside, and sometimes there's absolutely no screen time. Like you are always actively engaging with another human being. But here you see, let's say out of 10 kids outside, 9 of them are glued to like watching a tablet or a phone. You know, how did you find that different, or did you see any difference at all? And if you did, how did you find it?
Actually, when I moved there, during the winter season. The winter was almost, I moved there in January. Then when it was summertime, I was in jumping pond that time. Myself and my children were outside because we weren't used to just this indoor life. At the point I was like, but everybody's just indoor. But now the area that I live now, you see all those
small kids.
They will come and knock at my door. One day I just checked my camera. Then I went downstairs. Then I saw them. They were like, "Oh, we came to look for Rachel and Rebecca. Come outside and play with them."
Oh, it reminds me of my childhood. How kids will be coming to your door and then be ringing the bell or knocking the door.
Because my children are always outside during summer. At a point, a friend came to call them doing car wash for people. They were making few dollars. So my children are not used to staying indoor in that confined space. So a lot of kids will come to them, can we play with you and all those things. So I still allow them, especially when the sun is outside, to utilize it very well. So when I came here, I can see that a lot of kids, people don't want their kids to play with other kids. Everybody is just me. Then even if you want to have a play date, it's still going to be that your single friend, which I totally understand because people are safe with the people they know very well, right? So the culture and everything is totally different from our culture in Africa, in Nigeria, whereby when rain is falling, you
are
are
still
outside,
playing.
you are playing inside the rain. You can go to your cousin's house, you can go to your friend's house, but here is totally different, which I understand that everybody is trying to keep themselves safe, and you don't even trust anybody around you, which is something everybody can relate to.
That's
because
true.
the world itself is changing.
It's changing. Lots of things are changing. Like from our childhood till now, we can notice like too many differences right now. I can't imagine.
That's a topic for another day, which I think we'll still have to talk
about. Our own childhood.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. But because of the safety, people are so scared. Even if we want to have a play day, where are we going to? Do you understand?
It has to be so well planned and structured.
Yes, because everybody is just trying to keep their children safe because it's very important. One, if you miss a track, it can cause a lot of issues for you. So everybody is just trying to be in that safe space. Which even in Nigeria, before I left 2 years ago, my neighbors would be like, "Is mommy Anu in this
area at all?"
But my children are the ones that will allow people to know that I'm inside. Do you understand? Yeah. And sometimes I lock them inside. Like my husband will be like, no, there's no going out. Everybody stay inside. And so everybody's just trying to be safe. You don't even your neighbor, you don't even trust them again.
Exactly.
I don't even know. Compared to in the 80s, 90s, when we were growing up, you walk from your school to the house.
You greet everybody on the road. You are supposed to greet them. If you don't greet them, you are in trouble.
You buy roasted corn on the road. You are laughing. You know, you just carry your school bag. You're just doing your things your own way, freelance and all those things. But nowadays, you will see nowadays. Before I left Nigeria, my children inside their bus, they have a policeman, they have an auntie. They have a driver, like they park them so that somebody will not come and kidnap them.
Exactly, because things have.
You see people dropping their children with their drivers, then they will be looking at, even in Nigeria. So everything has changed. So.
Yeah, the world has changed greatly. Like sometimes I imagine 50 years from now how things will be. It will be completely different.
It will be totally
because I remember like our time, internet wasn't a thing. Right, so I remember like even sometimes I think about it that I can only imagine even as we were the gap between the non-internet age and the internet age, like we are the gap. So imagine even those who are parents who were pre-internet, like it's crazy. I remember those days, like if you are calling somebody on phone like long distance, I remember it wasn't like WhatsApp. You have to actually plan, go call on the landline. Oh God, I had this guy who used to call me from Switzerland. Up till today I don't remember who the guy was, but he would call on my landline.
Then you
and call my mom, and my mom would be like, "Somebody has called you," and she's like, "Who is the person?" Ask you all sorts of questions before you can even talk to who.
Can you imagine?
But now the kids have their own phone. They can even check each other's location, on Snapchat and all of those things. And I'm like,
even the funniest part is even all our parents. If you see them now, they are doing Facebook, WhatsApp. Mommy,
even when they're even in a restaurant.
Yes, everybody, they are doing Facebook. That like today, my mommy sent me like 3 videos. I'm sure I didn't even watch any of the videos.
Yeah. So most recently, even my dad was using emoji GIF and emojis in the chat, and my brothers were like, "Who taught you how to use these things in WhatsApp?"
My friend was like, Bumi. My mom is around though, but she's down there. She has been calling. So they are all calling. If they are not calling, they are chatting. Yeah. If they are not chatting, they are doing social media. Even our parents. Yeah. So the world now is a social media world. So people they are not ready to make friends with people. You see all these kids when they hang out. Everybody, they're supposed to, as in, meet each other, talk, relate. You see, everybody is pressing their phone.
Barely. I remember there was a time I went to a party and all the kids were on their phone and tablet.
I
was like, what is this?
I know, right?
I don't like that at all. I'm like, we have to teach the kids to interact with another human being. There's a human being by you. Interact. It's not your busy person.
Everybody is right. The other time they all came to my house, the only thing that they were doing is they went upstairs, all of them,
pressing their own phones.
This is their game that they used to play.
Oh, at least they are playing together, right? At least that one is even better. I prefer that than the one they are privately doing their own thing.
And then once the battery is off, they will come downstairs.
Yes.
And the next thing they will tell you, I'm bored.
I'm bored. That's what I always tell my son. My son is like, Mommy, I'm bored. I'm like, it's okay to be bored. It's actually very good to be bored. It helps your brains to rest.
Yeah, I just tell them, look for something
else to do.
She will come and tell me, once the battery, then if you, I'm sure a lot of mothers can relate to what I'm about to say now. Once the battery is down, that is when you will know that there is no food in the house.
Now they want to pick up.
That is when they will tell you, Mommy, what can I eat?
Exactly.
Do you have any food for me to eat? Then when the battery is going down, that's when they will send me a message. I'm in the office, they will just send me a message. I'm at work, they will send me a message. Is there anything to eat in the house?
They didn't remember.
Once the battery is low, in fact, it takes a lot of grace to raise kids in this our generation.
No, that's true.
A lot of effort and kids and everything. I don't even know, but God is our strength.
Oh, this was amazing. Yeah. This was amazing. I now we are to
time for fun.
In fact, all this has been fun already. But yeah, where's my phone? I need evidence of what we are going to do next. Where is my phone? So the moment we've been waiting for, drum roll. So, like I said today, we are not fighting over jollof, but we are fighting over accents.
Not even football.
So we are going to start with the first word, which is, in fact, it's showing on the screen right now. I don't want to say it before she steals the way I say it. So let's see. Okay, so the word is showing on the screen right now. So I'll let you start. What word is this?
Church.
Okay, did you hear her? Say it again.
I have said it.
Church. Okay, and then for me, I'll say church.
Okay, it's
church.
Fine. So far, you know what I'm saying.
So let's see if we are right or wrong. Who is right and who is wrong?
I'm not even fighting over that with you.
Church.
I
want church. I want church. It's not church. Did you hear?
Let's listen to that video
again. Church. You see? Next word. Okay, the word is showing up here. What word is that?
Doctor.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
Doctor. Okay.
Why are you pronouncing my name?
Yo, she said doctor. Now.
I didn't say doctor.
Okay, so the Queen's language says doctor.
Me, I'm a Nigerian.
Doctor.
And I'm
doctor.
Proudly.
Doctor.
In fact,
when you watch a Nigerian movie, my husband will say, you watch Nigerian movies too much. They'll be shouting, doctor.
Don't allow Nigerians to come for you. And actually, do you know what? The way an Igbo person will pronounce, even in Nigeria, we still have our, how do I put it? The way we pronounce differently, even in Nigeria. The way an Igbo guy will pronounce is different from the way a Yoruba girl will pronounce. It's different from the way an Hausa person will pronounce. It's different from the way a Shekiri guy will pronounce. Even a guy from Edo State.
That's
the
true.
way Igbos,
even in Ghana too, we have those differences.
Their whole accent is totally different from the way a Yoruba person will pronounce. So we have different. Somebody from Ekiti State we even pronounce differently from somebody that I'm from Osun State. So it's okay.
Let's see what the thing says.
Doctor.
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 I'm not. Are you okay? How do you pronounce it in Ghana?
Doctor. In Ghana, we say doctor.
And nobody is arguing with you.
Video, please subscribe.
Nobody is
our next word. Say it the Nigerian way because you become too Canadian. Say it Nigerian way.
Okay,
this
I'll do
word. This word. Nigerian.
Pursue.
Hey, she become Canadian. No, real Nigerians say pursue.
I will pursue you.
Pursue. Right, as she said it the way I would say, so I will repeat, pursue.
Okay.
Pursue.
Let me say it the way Nigeria. I'll
Pursue. Okay, next word here.
Okay, I should pronounce
it.
husband.
Husband.
My husband. No, we don't pronounce it that way. It's husband.
Husband. Okay, this one.
Boss.
Hey, since when you both say boss, you both say boss. You both say boss. When did you start saying boss?
You allow Nigerians to come for you.
You both say the boss is coming. The boss.
School bus.
School bus. Okay, this one.
My concern about the issue.
You see, my dog is even laughing.
What's wrong with you? How did I catch you?
My dog is even laughing at you. Concern.
Okay.
Concern. Even typical Nigerians will say consign. What's your concern?
No, my consignment. That's not no. My consignment.
Okay. Next word.
Which one is the next? Conserve.
What?
Conserve.
Conserve. That's why you said Nigerian. Conserve. Conserve.
Now you sabi.
Next one.
Scissors.
See what?
Scissors.
Sauce.
Scissors.
Scissors.
You want me to pronounce it like a typical Nigerian girl? Color. Color. Color.
Are you sure? You supposed to say collar. It's not true. You say collar.
Color is different though. That's the one all these pastors put on.
Nigerians, tell us in the comment section. Am I lying? You people say collar. If I don't collar. You see, now she says it's this one. Collar. Please tell her.
My Nigerian people, please come and save me from this Ghanaian friend of mine.
It's color. Okay, this one.
Picture.
Pick what?
Picture.
Okay, we say picture.
It's okay.
Picture.
So far you know whatever I say.
That's what you say too. This one.
Director. She wants me to say director. Director. Not direct. Who is dying here? Director.
So
far you know what I'm saying. Say it in the Ghanaian way. Stop saying it in the British accent. Say it in the typical
Ghanaians
Ghanaian
are
way.
British. Our English is British.
Nigerians were colonized by the British.
So why don't you guys speak like British?
Yeah, no, they came to steal our. So you expect us to steal if you go and wash all your tongue with all the British or maybe Britain or whatever, your color cannot change.
It's paining hair. Don't mind them. It's paining hair. If I let me say, it's pain and hair. It gives her so much pains.
I think it was the next one, John.
That's the last one. So, don't mind this Nigerian girl, she's become more Canadian than she thinks. And she thinks imagine she calling color and she said color. And then you said color. I was like, really? What is going on with this Nigerian? In fact, we'll revoke your citizenship. We'll revoke your citizenship from Nigeria. You're no more Nigerian.
I am a true. I'm so proud of my country, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have asked for a better country than that beautiful country. Even with the stress and everything, Nigeria is still the best country in the world.
No, don't start. Ghana is the best in the whole wide world.
Don't let us go there.
In fact, that's another day. Another day. We'll have another video on why we'll do a presentation on why Ghana is the best country and Nigeria is not.
You can see your dog. Your dog is responding. Your dog is already responding. What is my mommy saying? My mommy is saying rubbish. I cannot take that. I need to talk.
funny enough, when I was like in university, there
Yeah.
were lots of people that thought I was Nigerian, and they're like, "Ah, are you from Nigeria?" I'm like, "Do I sound Nigerian to you?" And they're like, "Oh no, but you look it." I'm like, "How do Nigerians look?
That is why you can't.
How do Nigerians look?"
That's why you love me so much. But me, I didn't hear from you. Are you okay? And I didn't see. I was like I'm sure Valerie is okay. That's
Look at this girl, oh. Hey!
You know what?
She's obsessed with me. She's pretending. She's too obsessed.
She's in love with me. She can't do without me. That's the problem with Nigeria and Ghana. I think we love each other.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's people that loves each other that fight
the
a
most.
lot. So
Yeah,
that's when
true.
the love is real. That's the person you can. I can actually. Val, what you did, she knows now.
Exactly.
If I do anything, she will tell me, Bumi.
This wasn't good.
I will not hide you in my closet.
I'm like, see the time you are coming, I will talk to you
African
again.
time. That's a talk for another day.
I'll talk to you.
She will be
See
like,
the time you
"Mommy,
came.
don't do your African time, oh, please. I will tell my guests to tell your mother that.
Right from 2 hours, say, "Mommy, 2 hours time, 1 hour time, you're on our way. Please, let's start leaving the house."
That's why we are special people.
Yeah.
People tend to like us.
No, people do, because I think lots of Africans are very genuine also compared to like our other we are very, very genuine. And so usually you go, like yesterday, even at my son's daycare, the teacher was like, "Oh, today this week we are learning about Africa," and she was so excited to be telling me about it. "What part of Africa are you from?" And this and that. And I was like, "Well, next time you put a teacher about Africa, it will be good if you brought an actual African to come teach your kids, you know, because it makes a huge difference, right?"
Yeah.
And they are very excited to hear more about what we are doing, where we are from, and even at work, I'm always talking about, like, even Ghana. I'm always like, if you guys ever want to travel, want to do vacation, go to Ghana. I'm telling them about like 1,000,001 different places that you can go in Ghana. So we continue to be proud of who we are, our heritage, and make sure we are passing down something to our kids also, you know, because they get completely lost. Exactly, and you don't want them to lose their heritage, right? So regardless, we had to try. Unfortunately, some of us cannot even speak our languages to 100%, but at least the little we can speak, we make sure that our kids are also able to speak something. Exactly.
Like when I would like to say something about that. When my children got to the school, then the lady that attended to them, I think she should be in her 60s. So when she was talking to us, and she's a Canadian, and she was like, "We should make sure that our children don't forget our roots, that we should always speak our language to them in the house, and then we should make sure that they eat our food. So that we should make sure that they can identify with their roots," which I think it's very, very important, because most of these children at times they find it so difficult to navigate life, and I don't even know, am I Canadian or am I Nigerian, because they have these dual
identity crisis.
It's very, very important. I think most of us, because of the economy and everything, we don't have the opportunity of taking them back to
every now and then.
It's a lot to take them to maybe Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, or whatever. So I think the only thing we can do for them is to speak our language to them. Then even most of them, they might not really like eating our native food. Like, we should just try and let them know little things about our culture, how we greet in Africa, how we relate with people with respect. And
that's one of the things I also like about your kids. Like, whenever they see me, "Good morning," like the way they bend to greet, like it reminds me so much of like even back home how they would do it, like bending down to greet an adult, right? And it's so admirable.
The day she came to my house, she was like, after making the effort, she was like, "Wow, this is beautiful." The children, the way, especially you, the part of Nigeria where I came from, you people invite a lot of respect into your children. So it's to us, like, if we can try to like teach them some little things, how to prostrate, how to be respectful, even if that way, when they go out, they can easily identify with their people, and then there is a sense of belonging when you see somebody that is from your side.
Yes,
That feelings, that friendship, that that freedom. Like, this is my sister. I can't do anything now. Do you understand?
True.
So,
True.
I'm so happy to be here today.
No, I'm glad you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. This was really amazing, and I think it's the first of many videos that we'll do together. It's really amazing. I loved every part of this. Please make sure you comment on this video so that we can bring you some more exciting ones. And if there's even something in particular you want to talk about, please put in the comments. Or as usual, lots of people private message me. So if you want to private message me, please do that. And then we can get that on your screen. But until next time, before you see these beautiful faces again, don't forget to stay happy, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. And never ever forget that God loves you. See you next time. Bye.
Live my life like it's my last day. Live my